Hi, everyone. How are you tonight? I'm so excited to talk about this tonight. My name's Erin. I'm a family autism coach, and I support parents who are new to autism with one-to-one coaching that's based on a roadmap that we create together. It's a customized plan so you know exactly what to do and what comes next. So, we're talking tonight about what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Let me know. If you've joined us, let me know. Some people said before the live, there's a lot of waiting going on. Some parents are waiting for diagnoses. Some parents are waiting for funding. Some are waiting for therapies. There's all kinds of things that parents new to autism are waiting for. Even if you're waiting for a diagnosis, even if your child does not have autism or has not been diagnosed with autism yet, they will still benefit from the things that we are going to talk about tonight. I have this theory that isn't my theory, I just subscribe to it, but what is necessary for some is good for all. So some of these things that we talk about tonight, they'll be great for your child with autism. They'll be great for your child who you suspect has autism. They'll also be great for your other children who are growing at different rates and are at different ages. These strategies are good for all kids, which is why they're so amazing. But I want to talk to you about the truth about waiting. The truth is that you don't have to wait to get started on early intervention. It's unfortunate that you have to wait for funding and you have to wait for diagnosis, but there are things that you can do to support your child at home. And early intervention is so important because you just have this window, this little window of time, which is why it's called early intervention. As the name implies, it's early in their age. It's like early childhood education. It's called early intervention because it needs to happen when they're young. I know some parents who've waited so long for funding and therapies that their child has aged out of early intervention. So they waited so long that the child never got any of the therapies that they needed during that window. And that's through no fault of the parents. How are parents to know what to do if no one shows them what to do? So I'm going to show you some things tonight that you can do. No matter where you are in your journey, these things are great for all of your children. So if you feel like you want to start on something, you feel like you want to do something, but you don't know where to start, stay tuned because there's going to be some suggestions. I've got some ideas to share. So what is early intervention? It is a lot of different therapeutic techniques or strategies. There's a lot of them, and you get to choose what is right for your family, what is right for your child. You could be waiting for ABA therapy. You could be waiting for speech therapy, for occupational therapy, social skills training. You could be waiting for help with problem behavior. You could be waiting on a dietitian or a sleep expert. You could be waiting on toileting. You could be waiting on ditching a bottle or a soother. But all of these things that we're talking about require some kind of intervention. And that's just to say that it's required. They require a strategy. So there's there's lots that you could do, and some of these things that you can tackle at home now, and you should, because you're in that window where early intervention is really key. So your child's brain has got this like plasticity to it, and brain development for children is really critical when they're young, which is what makes early intervention more effective. So the more that you can do during this window, the more effective it can be. So it's kind of like you have this window of opportunity. Seize the window for maximum impact. So the benefits of early intervention, there's tons of them, but like improved social skills, it affects your child's ability to socialize, form connections with people, emotional regulation. Any of these interventions can contribute to reduced behavior challenges, following routines, like long-term positive outcomes. Early intervention correlates with improved academic performance in school, and increases the quality of life because it increases independence. Like think about if they're dressing themselves or toileted. I'm a firm believer that toileting your child gives them the gift of dignity. But that's for another conversation. But all wrapped up in what we're talking about, because you can't just start toileting your child. They need to be able to follow some instructions and understand the sequence of events and things. So all of the things to put in place for early interventions are the things that are like the building blocks for those bigger things that you want to tackle. So there are some things that you can tackle at home, even if you're waiting for professionals like an OT or a speech language pathologist or a behaviorist. I'm just going to give you a laundry list of things that you can do, but if we were working together, I would put them in a plan that meets your child's needs and meets them right where they're at. But you can pick any of these and give them a go and start moving forward. Okay, so creating a communication-rich environment is so important. So you can start by modeling language. So talk all the time. Like if you don't know what to say, like narrate what you're doing. Just talk all the time. Use words. Give your child the names of things. Give your child words, like over talk, but talk all the time. Visual supports. If you can introduce visual supports, it will help your child communicate so much better. Even if your child isn't talking, they're communicating. And visual supports are a big part of that. Have you ever tried communication temptations? Do you know what those are? Those are things that give your child a reason to talk. Well, not talk, communicate. If you did something unexpected, like you put their shoes on their hands, they might laugh, they might tell you in a way that that's not right and you need to do it the right way. But it gives them a reason to communicate with you, to say like, what are you doing? That's not right. Be silly, be unpredictable, which is kind of part of the game and part of the fun of a communication temptation. You can offer them choice, apple or pear. But even if you know what they want, the the purpose is to get them communicating, not to just anticipate what they want and give it to them right away. So offer them choice, let them choose, and let them communicate with you in their way so they can show you what they want. You can give out toys bit by bit. If they're building a tower with some blocks, you can give them one block at a time. If they're doing a puzzle, you can give them a piece at a time. You get it. But having them have to look to you to communicate with you that they want what comes next is a way to get them showing you what they need. The other thing is wait. I see a lot of parents who just want to keep the peace or get their child what they want because it's easy, and you're trying to anticipate what your child needs just so everything will go well. But if you're always anticipating what they're needing, then they never have to ask for what they need. So sometimes just wait. You might be surprised at what they communicate to you or how they communicate it. I have this list of communication temptations. There's lots more there than what I just said, but if you would like it, you can just post in the bottom that you would like it. Just post waiting. I'll send it to you. And I've got this one too. Are you waiting for speech therapy? There's some things that you can do there if you're waiting. Model words during play. Follow your child's lead with their interest. I added this picture of this mom and little girl dancing because the mom is imitating the girl, which is such a big part of conversation and communication, imitation and back and forth. So take their lead and join in on here. Get their hearing checked. It's a great thing to do while you're waiting, because never assume that there isn't something else going on. If your child's not responding to their name or turning and looking when you're calling them, maybe they're not hearing. So get that checked out. That will definitely affect communication. And try some of those fun communication temptations, like giving them a reason to talk, to communicate, however they communicate in their own way. During play, do some structured play where you emphasize communication and you emphasize your turn, my turn, here we go, there's a back and forth. It's so important in play and in conversation and just communicating. Reading. Oh my gosh, reading. There's so many words. There's turn taking in reading. There's following instructions. There's a rhythm to it. There's a routine to reading with the reading and the turning the pages. There's temptations within some books. There's so many ideas. You can check out the guide section in the Facebook group. At the very top, you'll see guides. Go in there. There are some great books in there. 2 different guides for books. One is ones that are autism themed, like the main character in the book is living with autism, and another set of type of books is cause and effect books. So when they do something, something happens. That is a really fun one for communication temptations and getting them to talk, getting them to interact with the book and do things. So look in the guide section and see if you have any great books that you can read with them. The visuals are huge. If you can figure out where your child is at with the visuals that they need, they're super powerful in getting them to communicate. I had one family that was supporting their son who was just 2, and he couldn't tell them what he needed or wanted. He was really struggling with some behaviors. So we put some things in place for him using visuals, and he was at the place where photos were the right thing for him. And Mom was going through the photos with him, showing them, posting them on the fridge, saying what they were, and she left her own photo to the very end. So she had pictures of things that he likes, pictures of foods that he liked, like the remote control, stuff that he would want. And then we did pictures of people too in his life. So the picture of her at the very end, she held up and named it. She said, Mama. And he took the picture and held it and kissed the picture and then put it up on the fridge with the other pictures. And that moment for her was so powerful that she realized that he had a lot to communicate. He had a lot to say, but he didn't have the skills to do it. So we worked him through communication, starting with pictures, because that's where he was at. And it's so powerful to see that when you find the right starting spot, it works, which is super cool. And then the stories are so fun. If you find the right book for your child, the language that comes out of it is incredible. Don't be turned off by a book that is, rated for like 2 to 3 year olds or 3 to 5 year olds, but your child is 5 or your child is 7. Go with what your child likes. Go with their interests. You might have a book that your child loves, like for years and years and years, but it's a tiny little board book that they got when they were a baby. Go with what works for them. I had a family whose son really likes books. He likes them so much that we learned that social stories, writing stories about him where he is the center character, worked so well with him that the social stories were able to help communicate changes in schedules, new things that were happening. And what we learned was they were so powerful that when the thing didn't go the way that the social story said that it was going to go, that didn't work. So we learned how much he was paying attention and how much he was taking in. And that is all part of learning language and communication. And that is part of the early intervention. So if you feel like you should be doing something, but you don't know where to start, post waiting below And I'll send you these PDFs. They just have some ideas on them. But start now, because it's critical that you start when you are in the zone of your child's brain being so open to learning and so ready for learning. Early intervention it's a short, important time. And just because you're waiting for funding or a diagnosis or therapies, doesn't mean do nothing. Waiting just means that, well, that stuff's over there, but you can do things at home with your child to help support early intervention. And so reach out, post waiting if you want this stuff. If you want to talk about a roadmap and you want to get going with a plan, post roadmap and I'll send you some information about what comes next and how you can always know what comes next and where to put your energy and how to know where your child's at so you can start at that really perfect spot. So I'm going to finish by asking you the same question that I started with. What are you waiting for? Your child can learn. Your child is capable and you can teach them. So stop waiting. Start in a way that fits your family. Start by taking one of these suggestions or all of the suggestions. Start by ordering some books or start by reaching out so you can really go at it and maximize what you're doing during this time for early intervention. The great thing is you have options and you get to choose. So what are you waiting for? I look forward to hearing from you, so I can support you in whatever way you choose. Good night.